Hello everyone, it's very good evening. Let's start the session. Just a minute. Let me open our Snowflake account. Okay guys, I'm sharing my screen now. Okay. Let's let's observe this. Here in the last sessions we worked with Azure and then GCP. We saw that how to work with it. So there is no difference. Only the thing is when you are creating an integration object, so we have to give this so respective the cloud platform details. Remaining process is same for the Snowflake. So users. Now, so let's come to this one. So we are going to today work with about related to data sharing. Data sharing. Data sharing. Okay, before going to implementing this, in every interview they will ask one question. So why you need to es- especially go for data sharing when this approach, so this particular data share approach we can able to perform in within the Snowflake role based access. It means data sharing is nothing but, for example, if you want to share a table or if you want to share a view so to some other persons, so then that is a data sharing. Suppose whatever the data is available, so in my database, if I want to give access to you guys, then what I can do, I can create a user for you, right? And I can assign one role for you. For that particular user I can assign a role, right? This will give us the solution, right? Then you can able to, if I give only read only access, you can able to read only, right? And so you cannot able to write these things, you can able to perform. But why specifically data sharing concept? Then what is the difference? They will ask what is the difference in between. So when you create a role and then if you give read only access to them, then this will give the solution. Then why specifically data sharing? When it is coming to the data sharing, guys, remember this is account to account level, account level, not within that account. And one more thing, there is a hidden one. So meaning, so when it is coming to data sharing, whatever the account we are working, if you create a user, who will be the charges given for this particular user? The main account, right? When you are sharing to account level, both the accounts charges will consider individually. Individually, it means, for example, so now in within our Snowflake account, let me open our Snowflake. Okay, now if you observe this is our account, right? This is particularly, this is related to our account. Now, if I want to give so this data share to you, if I want to give the data share, you will have a separate account. You will have a separate account will be there. When I give access to you, how much time you are working in this particular virtual warehouse, the charges will be applicable to you. If I create a user within this account, how much time with the user when you logged in, how much time you are going to access this particular virtual warehouse, this one so is so applicable, the charges applicable for this particular within the account. Sometimes what will happen is, so they will other business users or other business accounts, let's assume that, so you have, so let's say best example Citibank. Okay, they will have the users from loans, right? So within loans are users from the corporate account. Then so they are having the users from, for example, so personal personal accounts, right? And corporate accounts. Let's say corporate accounts. These are the different modules. Let's assume that. Or within a loan, you may have this particular loan, you may have business account. So I mean sales rep, sales users will be there, and then HRs will be there, and then like a marketing department will be there, right? And then account department will be there. Let's assume that other department users, other department guys, they want to access our data, they want to see the data. Then what we will do, if you create a user, they are separately from different account. If we create a user for them within our account, charges will be applicable for us, right? Instead of that, what you will do, you are going to create a separate account, and then charges and everything, it is applicable for them, the utilization. In simple way, can tell another example. For example, I have a document. Okay, I kept this particular document in D drive, sorry, Google Drive, D Google Drive. Okay, when I have uploaded, I want to share these documents to you. Instead of sharing, if I give my username and password, it's not secured, right? And whenever you are operating my account, right? If I share a username and password, now what I will do, if I want to share one document, I will keep it in a Google Drive, and then I will give read access or write access to you guys, right? And I will assign this to your email IDs, right? When I assign this drive access to the specific email IDs, now when you guys are accessing, who is chargeable for your internet usage and who is chargeable for your laptop usage, right? And with whose email ID you have to access, it's all yours, right? It is nowhere related to mine. So because what I have done here, just I created a document, I shared that particular document in a drive. That's it, right? This is so what I have done. Now, when you want to access that, so your laptop, your email ID, your internet connection, the charges is yours, right? So when you are accessing, I am not responsible for the charges, right? The same concept here in a data sharing. When you share a data, so to whom you are sharing, so it's their responsibility for processing charges, and then this storage charges and everything, it will be from their side. Now let's come and then observe. So how to create a data set. Before that, we will have two terminologies. We have inbound and outbound. Inbound and outbound will be there. So these are the two terminologies here. One is inbound, another one is a outbound. Inbound means when you are receiving. Outbound means when you are sending. When you are sending. Now another thing is provider and reader, or call it as a consumer. Who is receiving, and then who is receiving, so that they are readers, and then consumers. Who is providing, who is sending, they are a providers. Now observe this. Here we can able to see the date shares here, right? We can able to see the shares. When you click on shares, what you can able to see? Inbound, outbound. One is inbound, another one is outbound here. Inbound means receiving. When you are receiving, so you can able to see this one. So these are the accounts. It's received from other accounts, right? It's received from other accounts. So in the last session what we saw, so that so we received some data from the marketplaces, right? But so when we created a Snowflake account, directly you have, so these two things. One is like Snowflake database, and then Snowflake sample data for our so practice purpose. These two things are so directly, so it received from, so when we created account. But these are not within our database. These are shared by, see this one, shared by these particular specific so organizations or particular specific shares. Okay, this is inbound. When you are receiving, we received into this account from other persons, right? Now outbound, if you are sending something to others, then that is a outbound. That is outbound. We didn't created anything here, right? Okay, let it be. Now let's observe this here. So how to create a outbound? Okay, before that, one thing, in this Snowflake icon, you can able to see, you didn't see any option here. For a reader, you will have a option called reader here. You can able to see the option called reader. Then you can able to understand this is reader account. Now let's create a data share. And when you are creating a data share, we can able to create data share for only the tables and secure views. Tables and secure views. I will give share one, and a database. Let's pick any database. See this one, secure view. Select a table or secure view. Why only secure views? We will discuss when we are working with the views concept. Now let's select. So from here, I will select any one table and apply. Now this table we are trying to share to others. Now observe this one, create. And one more thing, when you are creating a share, you can able to create this share by using only account admin. Other roles we cannot able to do it. Now secure share, we selected the so warehouse, and then table or view within that. So we have given, and so it is asking us to preview what you want to share. So whatever you are sharing, it is asking us to just preview the data. Once you are fine with this data, whatever you are sharing, so then you can click on this particular option. So add to consumer. Now observe this one, what it is giving, reader or full access. Full access means when you give this to others, like for example, edit access if I given, when I am sharing one document, again you can able to share it to others, right? You can able to edit, and then you can able to download, and then you can able to share it to others, right? That is full access. Or generally when we are creating, we will give only read access. And what it is asking, reader account, reader account details, but we don't have any reader account details. Then what we have to do is, so we can create a one reader account, we can give this account details to them. Now Let's observe this reader account, and then account name it is asking. I will create it as a reader only, reader. Then comments, let it be username, reader, password, confirm password, create. It will take some time to create. Before that, let me show you some diagram for the reader one. So this, when we are sharing data, so always, so one account to another account, cloud services will be shared. So because just we are sharing the details, right? And then related to that particular account, whatever they are doing, we are not responsible for that, right? And whatever we are sharing, so they will have only read only access. They cannot able to delete and they cannot able to edit anything if you give. Now observe this one, read only access from a, so any database, from any so particular table. So when we are sharing something, so to other accounts, so we can able to share, and we can able to create multiple shares also. There is no limitation. Now this is a just a so representation how the reader thing will be represented. Now let's come here. Now it's created. Observe the link. This is the link, right? For the reader. Let me copy it here. It. See this one. This is a reader account, right? So EA50896. Now observe our account TX10238, right? Both are different. Now click OK. And so reader, see this one, account created A, so 50896. This is a reader account which we created now. Now click on add. One account added successfully. Now observe the options here. See this one, login. It is telling that account admin as a login as a account admin, and create a database and share, that you can show data, consumers can access the shared data, right? So here, so now let's observe this, click done, the reader account created. Now you can able to see the share one. This is your share one. So this is particular share, and shared with whom we have shared with, this particular account we have shared with this particular account. Okay, now let's try to open the new account here. Generally to activate it, it will take some time. Now let's observe this. Let's enter, then it has to come. Okay, now it's activated. Now observe this. This is our reader account. This is our original account TX10238. This is our original account if you observe here, and then this is a reader account. Now come to this. So what is the user given? Reader. Then password, being the password. Observe this reader account. Observe the icon here, most importantly. See this, what it is telling. This is a reader account. This is a reader. And when you come here, do you have any icon here? No. So we don't have any icon here. That is not a reader account. So that is a provider. Now here when you observe, this is reader. And do you have any so specific things here, right? And coming to just a minute, database and shares, marketplace. You can you see anything here? No, right? When it is coming to shares, see this one nothing. And so here, so but see this one, what is the role here? Role you need to change to account admin. We need to change it to account admin. Change it to account admin, and see this, you can able to see, so database, right? And coming to the shares, you can able to see the share, right? This is inbound. See this one, only inbound. You received this particular share from this particular account, shared by, see this one, we have shared, this is our original account, shared by this, and then this is a share. Now if you want to work with this, can you observe in the worksheet, can you able to see anything here? No, because we don't have any database, we don't have so any specific so warehouse here, right? See this one, warehouse also we don't have any. This is completely a separate account. This billing will be separately, it will be treated, right? It is nowhere related to us, right? When you come to this, come to the database, and then click on the share, not this one, click on the share, come to that, click on the share here. See this, what it is asking, create a database from secure share. What we need to do, we need to create a database. Click on that and then create a database. And so database name you can give anything, shared data. And coming to the account admin, give the access to account admin and create database and click OK. Now the database is created. Now let's come here to the worksheet, refresh it here, and then select account admin. Now observe this one. Now we can able to see shared data. Now this particular thing is so shared database. Observe the icon, how it looks like shared database. It means you cannot able to, so only you will have read only access, right? So you will not have write access. Now coming to this particular table, this is the data, right? Suppose if you try to so fetch some information from here, select star from, what is the table? Healthcare CSC, right? When you run this, see this one, can you able to see anything? So what it is telling, select an active warehouse, right? So because the warehouse is not available here, warehouse, let's come to the warehouse and try to create warehouse. And then so name you can give anything, and then click on finish. Warehouse is created, right? So once this is created, refresh it here and come to the worksheet. Now left refresh and then select the warehouse. Warehouse is available. Database, database. Schema, this particular schema. Now when you run this, observe this one now. You can able to see the data. Okay, we have shared a data to other account. Other account can able to access the data. Okay, and in the questions interview they will ask, can you able to delete some records or insert some other records into shared database or shared table? Now observe this, delete from, what is the table name, healthcare CSV table, where let's say for example we'll take charges equal to, see this one, what it is telling, operation is not supported in a reader account. When you try any DML or DDL options, like when you are trying to create, insert, update, delete. So all these operations is not possible in your reader account. So for that particular shared one, if you want, you can create a new database. That is a different story. But whatever the things you have shared or your shared data, you cannot able to create, you cannot able to do any insert, update, delete. That is restricted, right? Suppose when I shared one document, I given only read only access. So then you cannot able to implement so any so delete so these update operations in that particular table. Okay, that is fine. Then, so for example, this is another question, guys. Can you able to clone from shared table? Observe the question. Can you able to use clone on shared object? It means it can be a table or it can be a view or it can be a anything. Now observe this. Create new clone from this particular table. Observe this. What it is telling. Creating a table on shared database not allowed, right? Nothing but cloning means also nothing but a you are creating a new table. So what it is telling? It is telling that creating a so new table is not possible in our Snowflake account. So for especially for a reader account, right? Snowflake reader account. Okay, and further in a reader account for the shared data, especially shared data, so our shared table, shared view, so we cannot able to. So this options is not possible, right? So this is we have shared to others only for read purpose, read only purpose. Okay. So and whatever, so you are using this virtual warehouse. Who is charges? Who will be so given the charges for this? To whom it will the charges will be applicable? These charges will be applicable for this particular account users. And when you come to this account, and then you can able to see this one billing and usage average storage, this is related to this particular account, right? And then how much time so you are utilizing the virtual warehouse here, so it will be so start so charging so on this particular account, right? So that is the so main so intention behind this creating a reader account. So only so account to account you can able to share tables, and then you can able to share secure use. All these things you can able to perform here. Okay. So now so let's come here. So this is related to data share. Now when you come to we have another concept called simple concept data sampling. Data sampling. Okay. Before that I will give you an example. Then we can come to data sampling. Data sampling. Data sampling means, let's say, okay, for example, so these days, so the medical organizations, they are releasing COVID related vaccines, right? COVID related vaccines. When they are releasing the COVID related vaccines, so who will approve that? The government organizations. So I mean government, the authorities, they have to approve. This vaccine is so proper, you can able to use it, so you can able to so release in the market. But before that, what these government organizations will ask, can you show me the sample test on how many persons are, so what is the sample where it has been tested, right? For example, I am taking, so they have tested a sample, the age group in between 20 to 30 years. Can you consider this as a valid sample when they are released, when they are giving the permission to the vaccination? So will you consider only they tested their samples on only in between 20 to 30 age groups? No, it is not a valid, right? Let's say if it is for 40 to 50 age groups, this is also not valid, right? Or so they considered only 80 to 85. This is also not valid, right? Only one specific set they are taking, right? Then what is a valid sample? If they have tested at least in between, so 5 years to around, so 99 years or 100 years age groups in between this, maximum if they covered, maximum possibilities if they covered, that we will call it as a valid sample. They will check the how many persons in the different age groups, right? It should be in between, so like a 10 to 90 or so 20, so 22, so 95, whatever it may be, but it has to cover the maximum age groups kind of. So let's say for example, so 10 years, and then in between 20 we have one, 24 we have one, 31, and then 37. Let's assume that, so like 40, and then 53, and then 61. Let's assume that 64 years, and then 72. So like this, if they cover till so 100, the maximum age groups, it has to be available, right? Then we can consider this as a valid sample because they covered all the age groups. So when they are asking for the permission, when they are sending the test samples to us, they are going to cover so all the age groups, right? Then we can call that as valid sample, right? Okay, now we understand what is sampling, data sampling. The same way when it is coming to our Snowflake, we have a concept of data sampling. Data sampling, this is very easy case. What it mean by data sampling? Instead of giving access to the complete table, huge volume of the table, now let's observe this in our Snowflake. In this sample data, in if you observe this particular weather so schema, you can able to see huge volume of the data. See this one here, around we have 40 GB nearly. Here we have around 280 GB. Here we have around 1.7 TB. So 913 GB, right? 50 GB. So these different data is available here, right? So when you have this data, now when you give access to this particular data to any person, it will take minimum 20 to 30 minutes to get the data from this particular thing when they are utilizing the queries. When they are running the queries on this, what will happen? This virtual warehouse, the computation layer will be so utilized, and then here we are going to how much time it is utilizing that particular time, so it will be charged. Correct. Okay. Now, instead of giving the complete access on this table, what they can do is they can create a some sample set of data. Okay, so this is everywhere we are doing, right? But what is the specialty here in a sample? Generally, in other databases, if you want to create a data sample, instead of accessing the complete table, what you will do? You are going to create a new table. You are going to create create new table with first 100 records, right? First 1000 records, right? Or last 1000 records, or specific to region, right? Or specific to so location, or specific to some related module or ID, right? But it is not going to cover all the possibilities, right? If you pick first 100 records, then so what about the others? You will not have records from the other. If you pick only 1,000 records, what about the other records? So you are not picking those records when you are testing something, when you are building some query. In this situation, let's say if you take based on a location or based on a region, what about the other records, right? It means when you are taking a sample, when if anyone want to analyze something, when they are going to take a sample, the sample should be covered most probability, most of the probabilities. It means in that particular data, it has to pick the data from so all the possibilities. It means randomly it will pick, it has to cover all the things. When you are picking 1,000 records, so then it is not going to so cover so all the things, right? When you give, when you are creating a sample, you are going to give percentage, percentage. When you give a percentage, what will happen is it will pick that particular percentage from all of the records from the backend. In the backend, it will run some algorithm, and then it is going to pick randomly from each and every set. It means, for example, if it is how the data will be stored here in form of partitions, right? What it will do is it will go and then pick the data from each and every partition. If you give percentage 5% of the data, then it will go and then pick from each and every partition, and then on totally it should be all together it will be a 5% of the data, but it will pick from each partition. That is one method, partition wise the picking. Another method is so row method. So one is partition method, another method is row method. What it will do is randomly it will go and then pick so all the from all the data, all the possibilities, so randomly the row by row it will pick. But again, when you are mentioning 5%, it will go and then pick randomly 5% records from the based on row wise. No need to mention anything, just we are mentioning the sample, so it is going to pick in the backend. This one will cover, this sample will cover so all the possibilities. It means so nothing but it is going to pick the data from so all the places. Okay, so no need to specify anything the specifically. So this particular region, this particular thing, sampling. So then, okay, it will create some sample set of data. Okay, that is fine. If it is 100 GB, in that you need 1%. Only 1 GB of the data I want to pick. I don't want to pick all the data. First, I will test my queries on the sample. So, limited data. Then if it is everything is fine, then I will go and then work on the original table with the same set of conditions, right? So when you observe what is the purpose of so sampling, what is advantage, observe this one. What will happen when you create a sample? Development life cycle will be very quick. We can test all scenarios on sample data with 80% accuracy. It will reduce the development cost, right? And so why only 80% accuracy? The 80% accuracy because this is so when it is coming here, we are not testing on complete data, right? We are not testing on the complete data, right? So that's why 80% accuracy. This is a sample. It will reduce development cost. How it will reduce? Obviously, when you are running queries on a simple sample data, it is not having complete records. It will have some limited set, right? Analytics team, especially when analytics team so can test their operations on a queries on sample data. And if they reached at least accuracy 80% accuracy level, then they can execute the queries on the original data. This is the main intention behind sampling, data sampling. When it is coming to, so let's see how to create a data sampling here. So how we can able to create data sampling? Another diagram I will show you to understand sample. See this one. So why we need a sample? This is huge volume of the data, 5 terabyte, 10 terabyte, and then 8 terabyte data. So when you are trying to take a sample, see this one. So we have two methods. One is Bernoulli method. So on system method we used to call. So another one is a row method. Okay. Coming to that, see this one, how much sample they have taken? Only 1 TB. In 10 TB, 1 TB. In this 1 TB. Then if you try to access this data directly from these tables, it will take a lot of time, right? Instead of that, we can create a sample, some portion of the data. So based on all the probabilities we are picking here, right? That is sample. Now let's see how we can able to create a sample here. Now let's pick this one. This is just for creating a table. When any other team comes and then if they ask, "Okay, I want to work on this particular data, on this particular table, can you give me access?" We will understand what is their intention behind that. So we will ask them, so why you need this particular access to this particular table? If they tell we want to build a query or we want to so do some analysis on that, then if you observe, if it is a huge volume of the data, then we won't give the access directly to them. We will create a sample. We will create a sample and then we will give access to the sample. Now observe this one, create a replace table. So here instead of this, I will take this particular table. How much? So size it is 30, nearly 38 GB, right? Around you can see around 9 crores records is there, 91 lakhs something, right? 9 crores records. So we have, okay. So now, so when you observe, so this particular table, let me pick this one, daily 14 total. Now the same thing we are creating here. This is a black method. Now this is a table. This is available in this database, in this particular schema, and we are creating a sample for this. Now observe this, when you are creating a sample, what we are doing is we are creating a new table. We are going to create a new table in this class database, in this retention schema. And when you are creating, so in this, so we are creating the data from the, we are picking the data from the sample data, and we are mentioning sample. Observe the keyword sample, system 3. System 3. System 3 means this is probability. It means 3% of the records you have to pick from the total data. That is probability. And seed 82. Seed 82. This one, so this is a unique identifier for this particular sample. Again, if you come and then if you want to pick the same sample for other persons, then you can give this seed number. It will remember in the backend. So this seed can be a integer number. Let me show you. When it is coming to seed, you can give this integer number in between some ranges. Now observe this one. This is a range. In between any value you can give 0 to this particular value. You can give the range, right? 0 to this particular value. So when you are doing this, so you can give any value. It will remember that particular seed. See this one, it will remember, it's a unique identifier. So for this particular sample, again, if any person come and then if they ask, I need a same sample, what you have given in the last time, then you can so create a sample based on seed. Okay, now here So what is the method you are using? System method. System method. This is nothing but we can call it as a block also. What it will do is it will pick the data from each and every partition, how many partitions we are having. And system 3 we are mentioning. 3 means this is a probability. It means we are trying to pick 3% of the records from this particular table. From this particular table. So this particular, so daily 14 totals table. So we are trying to pick 3% of the records. Now let's observe this. Let's create a table here, and it is going to cover all the possibilities from so first so records to the last record. Each and every partition it will pick some records based on the percentage what we have given. This percentage, if you give, so let's say for example, if you give, let's observe this, how to work with this percentage. Let's say this one. If I want to pick 10% of the records in a sample, you can give 10. If you want to pick 100% all the records, then you can give sample 100. When you are creating a sample, no one will give so 100, because so it is basically it's a need of only some portion of the records, right? Some set of records. And if you don't want to pick any records, then we can give 0. 0 means nothing but so it will not pick any records from the sample. This is how we can mention so how much percentage the records it has to pick from the total volume. Now here we have two methods. One is row method, another one is so this one block method. When you observe this block method is nothing but it will pick backend from the partition. How much time it has taken? Successfully created 35.49 seconds. 49 seconds. This is the time how much time it has taken, right? Now let's come to this. Same thing. Let's refresh. See this one. What you can observe. Only 3% of the records. What is the total size here? When you observe total size of this particular table is so around 38 GB nearly. Now what is the size here? Around 950 MB, nearly 1 GB, 3% of the records we can consider. And at the same time, the records, observe the records also, it is nearly 3%, right? It has taken in the total volume. Now this particular table covers all the possibilities, whatever the data is available here. Up to 80% of the so possibilities will be covered here. That is sample. Now you can give access to this particular table. So when they want to do some analysis, all right, then instead of so executing the data on this table, so they will go ahead and then they will execute the queries. They will build a queries on this particular table. Then the charges will be reduced. That is the main intention behind sample. Now this is row method. We have two methods. Sorry, this is block method, nothing but a partition method. Another method is row method. So here what we will do is, so which one have to use when? We are coming to, so let me take the table, same table. This is a row method. And then let's pick the same one. And then same probability we will pick. And then we will see which one is the faster. This one, what we are giving? Sample. But instead of system, we are mentioning here a row. Same percentage we are picking. Same seed 82. Seed 82 is a unique number. So the same sample, if you want to pick again, then you can mention the same seed. Now observe this. This is so row method. It will randomly pick row by row and then it will create a table. So generally, if it is a huge volume of the data, then we will go for this particular block method. If it is less volume of the data, If you want to create a sample, then we will go for this particular method. We will go for this particular method. It depends. You can use anything, but so small, if it is a small table, so less than, so 10 GB, less than 20 GB, instead of creating this by using a block method, you can go ahead and then you can work with this. So simple, so row method. And so it has this above one, it has taken 35.49 seconds to create this particular table, right? Now when you observe here, this one, see this, it may take nearly 1 minute, but almost nearly the data will be the same. Almost it will be, so small variation will be there, but almost it will be same. So this one, it will go and then pick based on partition wise. This one, it will go and pick, so based on row level. So this is kind of one future the Snowflake has given to create sample data and to work with sample. Most of the time for analytics team, so any team, if they want to build something, so then we will create a sample and then we will give the access to them. So what is the main intention? To reduce billing, right? To reduce the charges. That is the main intention behind a data sampling. Is it clear? Okay. So observe this one, how much time it has taken. 1 minute 52 seconds. 1 minute 52 seconds, right? When it is taking 1 minute 52 seconds, this one has taken 35, so 0.4 seconds, right? So 35 this is milliseconds. This one will be milliseconds previously. This one will be seconds. Okay. So this is, so 1 minute. So this 52 seconds it has taken. Now, so if you observe the data in the both the tables, now let's come to this. Observe this. See this one. One is a row method, one is a block method. And which one is having more data? Obviously, row method will have more data, 1.2 GB. And so this one, so around 950 GB. Nearly, so it's around from your original data, it's around nearly 3% of the data it has picked. And then, so we have this so data available. Then what you can do, you can able to create these so samples, and we can able to give the access to these samples, and they will work with these samples data instead of so going and then working on your original tables, right? Okay, so this is about samples case. So any questions here?
Sir,
Yes.
you told that outbound is for account to account transformation. No?
Sharing, yes,
Okay.
yes. Mm.
Then both the
Outbound
accounts should be
means,
the account admin or any
mm,
role can.
no, no, no. It should be account admin only. Only account admins can able to work with the shares. Now observe this. You can see inbound, outbound here, right? What is the role? Account admin. If I change the role to, let's say, system admin, this is a different role, right? See
Yeah.
this one. You don't have access to the shares. Always it should be with the account admin role only. Then only we can able to work with the shares. Otherwise, not possible.
So they can only read the data, but
Mm,
they can't do anything with that.
exactly. The reader accounts, they can only read the data. So here also, if you observe, so here also we have some shared data, right? In our original account also, whatever you are working with the Snowflake sample data, all this data are a shared data for us. You can only read from this, but you cannot able to, if you want to modify directly in a this particular shared database, it is not possible. You cannot able to do that.
Yes.
Sir,
Yes.
why it took for
Mm,
raw data
mm,
for a long time, then
mm. What
log?
will happen is, I will come to that. What will happen is, suppose how many records will be there here. Generally, in a table, if you observe how many rows we have here, see this one in your original around so 99 crores 10 lakhs something rows, right?
Okay.
When you are creating based on row wise, it will pick the data, it will pick the sample. Okay.
Okay.
Now in this particular thing, how many partitions will be there? Definitely it will be around 10,000 or some less than that, right? Partitions is different, the rows is different, right?
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Obviously partitions is less. When it is picking based on partition level, obviously it will so take less time.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, hi. So once the data is shared, right?
Hmm.
So you're shown that we cannot clone the data and we cannot do a
Correct.
game on top of it, right?
Exactly. Mm, mm,
If someone want to own that data, they have to create a
mm.
new table on top of that.
Exactly. They need to create on top, not on the shared database. They need to create a new database here. And then they have to create a new table like this. What we have done here, we created a new table from the shared data. This is a shared data, right? But what we
Yes,
have done here, we created a new table in our database. So from here, so we have created these new tables. This is available in our class database.
yes,
From where we pick this? From the shared database.
yes,
Mm. This is the option.
yes. And actually, one other question. So since
Mm,
you show as an example as a sampling for
correct.
actually,
Mm,
sorry, from production development, right?
mm-hmm,
In an ideal case, the
mm,
production account and the development account are actually different, right? In that case, create a
mm,
sample table and then they put a share and top of the share they will take it, right? Isn't it?
correct. True.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Any other questions?
Yeah,
Oh,
actually, I have one question.
mm,
One question.
mm-hmm,
So since we are trying to, in an example that we created sample data, which
mm,
means
mm,
we're trying to make use of uh, those actually micro partitions, right?
correct.
So right. So okay, so there won't be any charge, right? Since we share the same micro partition, isn't it?
No, no, it won't be any charges.
Okay, got it.
Okay, guys. Okay, guys. Thank you. I will share these documents. So please go through that and then practice one more time. And if you have any questions when practicing, so please let me know. We'll discuss. Thank you. See you tomorrow.